Happy Halloween and welcome back to my channel. I've had a good week. Stuck to plan totally, as I generally do. 2 A's, 2 B's, 10 sins, and this morning I maintained. I'm really happy with that. At group this morning we had a good discussion about Christmas, which I suppose a lot of the groups are doing. And Naomi shared with us a piece from the website about Holly Days, D-A-Z-E, and her annual shopping day out at Christmas, and how many sins she actually took on board by having coffee out and lunch out and different things. And while it's very, very exaggerated, it also highlights a lot of the little ways we can slip up without intending to or realising we have. So I would encourage anybody to have a look at that. It's on the Christmas part of the Slimming World website under Holly Days, D-A-Z-E. Right, so there's my results this morning. I maintain. I walked 46.36 miles, which was about average. Thoroughly enjoyed all of it. One of the things I was looking at this week was different ways to spend my sins. I have been complaining to Joe latterly about being cold, and I've heard other people who've lost weight talk in this way. I realised that after some advice from Joe, that one of the things I don't do is I don't take on board very much fat, healthy or otherwise, apart from the odd avocado and of course egg yolks and things like that. I don't actually eat much in the way of meat. I do eat fish, but not every day. So Joe had recommended using some of my sins on healthy fats. This week I decided that I would use some of them on this, which is coconut oil. Now you don't have to just use it for cooking, you can use it for a good number of things. And I think this was £5, Joe, was it, for the jar?
£4.99.
£4.99 for the jar. And this is a extra virgin raw coconut oil. I actually had it, a teaspoon of it, in black coffee. It sounds really odd, but it's one of the things you can do with it. You can put it in hot drinks. And it made the coffee taste really nice. It made the texture quite nice, but it made it smell like coconut macaroons, which was really different. And Joe tells me, and I do believe him after trying it this week, that having a little bit more fat in your diet is A, more satiating, and B, gives you more energy. So that's worked for me. The second thing I've been having is this, which is almond butter. Now, this is a crunchy version, so it's like when you get your peanut butter, you either prefer smooth or you prefer crunchy. I prefer crunchy almond butter, Joe prefers smooth. I think this size pot is about £3.50, £3.99, something like that. You can buy it in health food shops or supermarkets or Holland & Barrett. And what we've been doing with this is putting it in celery sticks. So I would have, well, let me just say first of all, 1 teaspoon of this is 2 sins. The coconut oil, 1 tablespoon is 6. So I have a teaspoon. Back to the almond butter. The almond butter is 4.5 sins for 16 grams. I generally have 20 grams for 6 sins, and Joe puts it, or I put it, in celery sticks. And if you buy the little celery sticks from somewhere like Marks and Spencer's and fill them with this, it's not only delicious, it's filling, it's satisfying, and it feels like you've had something, well, in sort of a bit of a treat, because it's a bit out of the ordinary, certainly not boring. And some people might think it's quite a high sin value, but I'd rather have this than a packet of crisps. And the third thing that I've been having for sins this week is Manuka honey. Now, I don't have a particularly sweet tooth, but if I was going to sweeten anything, I would use this. Never use artificial sweeteners because I don't like them. Again, personal preference. I do use sugar at times and I sin it. And sugar is 1 sin per level teaspoon, but so is this. Now, Manuka honey is something Joe's had for quite a while and had an interest in for quite a while. This is Manuka honey, which is UMF, which the UMF logo stands for the unique Manuka factor. So this is the proper, I don't know how to put it into words, this is the medicinal, healthy version, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah.
This is proper Manuka honey. Now, whenever I've had Manuka in the past, I'll put this down now rather than waving it at you. Whenever I've had Manuka honey in the past, and I've bought it in Aldi or I've bought it in Sainsbury's, Asda, wherever, I didn't realise what I was buying was Manuka type honey, which is the stuff you get for £3, £4, £5 a jar, for a normal jam jar size jar. Now that's fine and it's nice if you like it. I never particularly liked the taste of that. I'm not the biggest fan of honey, and I just thought that had a queer taste. But this one, and this is a tiny jar, you can see compared to my hand. This is £17 a jar. You might think that's excessive. If Joe wants to buy it, I'm prepared to let him. This has the health factors that Manuka honey is renowned for. And it tastes, I was going to say bloody lovely. And it does. It's really lovely. And I think for me now, to sweeten anything with a teaspoon of that would do me fine. So yeah, there are 3 things that I've really been enjoying this week. Another product that we found this week, which we haven't tried yet, is this, and it's the Muller Lite Greek style yogurt. There seemed to be 3 flavours. One was a coffee latte, one was a coconut with a hint of vanilla, and this one is lemon. This one doesn't show on the app. The coconut with a hint of vanilla doesn't show on the app, but the coffee one is 1.5 cents for the whole pot. And they're all very similar in calories. So maybe they're all 1.5, or maybe you need to put the others through the SIN calculator. But that's something I'm going to try this week. I found that quite appealing and it feels quite thick. Right. So I've told you my results for the week. I've told you that I'm happy with it, which I am. I've told you the miles I've walked this week. And I intend to just carry on in the same vein for the forthcoming week. I would like to lose another £0.5 to get me to 10 stone, but if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to be unhappy. It'll happen if it wants to. I'm actually £6.5 under my target now. So in effect, I am not currently a target member. That feels odd, but it doesn't matter. I need to decide between now and Christmas if to set a new target and where to set it. But I'll see what happens. I'm not in a rush. I've got the rest of my life to work this plan. One of the things I wanted to bring to your attention, and it's one of those facts that you may know, you may not know. If you are approaching target and think to yourself, well, I'll buy a countdown, be wary. Because if you were to buy a 12-week countdown and get to target in 9 weeks, you lose the 3 weeks you have left. There is no way your consultant can get those weeks held on your account so that if you went out of target in the future, you could use them then. Once they've gone, they've gone. It's like holidays. When you buy a 12-week or a 6-week countdown, you have to put your holidays in at the beginning because the consultants cannot get those weeks back. So it just came to my attention this morning, that if you feel you're reasonably close to target and you may get there within the next 6 weeks, don't buy more than a 6-week countdown. Don't waste your money buying a 12-week one. Okay. My topic this week is very much based around group, and it is members. The word is members. And I wanted to look back over the number of years that I've done Slimming World and look at why I joined, the different reasons I joined, and also observing in group other people talking about why they have come, why they have joined. And it seemed to me that there are a small number of categories that we all fall into, and the first people I would like to applaud, and I don't think I ever really fell into this category, are the people who come along with a reasonably small amount of weight to lose. Now, you've got to have a half a stone to lose to join Slimming World. That's the minimum. So if you came along at 8.5 stone and you were 5'9", in theory they should turn you away. You have to have a surplus of £7. Now, I can't see to look around the rooms and judge other people's sizes, and for that I'm quite grateful actually. But I do know from years and years of experience, we enter those rooms at all sizes. I certainly have. I've entered those rooms, I think the first time I went I weighed 10 stone. And I've gone and joined Slimming World at every weight in between really. I think the highest I ever joined Slimming World at was 21 stone 5.5. And I say the first time I ever went I was 10 stone. But a lot of people come along who are in a situation where they've never had a weight problem in the whole of their life, but for one reason or another, probably they got married and they entered that comfy phase in life, or they've had a baby and they're left with a bit of baby weight, or they've been away to uni and they've gained that inevitable few pounds, you know, from moving away from home. And they come along and they've got a half stone or a stone, stone and a half to lose. And I applaud those people because they actually do make that effort before it gets out of hand. And I notice that in my group we get a number of people in that position, and it's lovely to see them come and it's lovely to see them make target. I don't think I ever came and made target at that stage. And maybe if I had done it when I first joined at age 19, my life might have been very different. But then there's a second category, I think, of people who come and join, and I have been in this category. And that's when we come and join for an occasion. So maybe we're going on holiday, maybe we're getting married, or we're getting engaged, or we have, you know, a life event, you know, been to uni, got your degree, and you want to look good in your degree photos. Maybe it's a big birthday coming up, you know, you're going to be 21 or 40 or whatever. But you come with a reason, with an agenda. Now, I joined Slimming World on a number of occasions, a good number of occasions, usually with an agenda. I joined because I was getting married, and that didn't work. I've joined, you know, because I've been going on holiday. I've done all of those things, the things I listed apart from the degree one. I've done all of those things, but I never, ever got to target. My heart was never in it. I never believed I could do it. I went in, I joined, thinking and believing I would always fail, and I always did. So that's the second category, and as I say, I've fallen into most of those reasons for doing it and failed on every occasion. And then I think there's a category of people that I've actually found myself in this time, and that is the category where people come and they join and they're prepared to change. So I think this time I've been really fortunate because I've had Joe backing me and encouraging me, cooking, shopping, and basically keeping me on track. He's not my minder, but if I go to do something which isn't wise within plan, Joe questions it. Why are you doing that? Why are you buying that? Why do you want to eat that? Do you need that? I mean, he's not like the Slimming World Police, but he is a bit like my conscience. So this time I joined Slimming World and I was prepared to change. I didn't expect the plan to change to accommodate me. I expected I had to change. And I had a comment from the lovely Jenny this week on my last week's video. And when we answered the comment, I found myself saying to Jenny, you know, I am a different person than the person who actually joined Slimming World 18 months ago this weekend. I am very different. I find that I have a willingness to do things differently that I could never find in myself before. I used to find it such bloody hard work. I used to be so reluctant to give up the things. I wanted to eat purple butter. I wanted to be able to eat a great big lump of cheese. I wanted to be able to eat as much bread. It wasn't fair. Why couldn't I eat like all of my friends? The truth was, I didn't eat like all of my friends. None of my friends were as greedy as I was, and that's why they were slim and I wasn't. But this time coming to plan, I had a willingness to change that I've never had before. And I can't tell you how much easier it's been to work this plan by coming at it from the approach of seeing it as a simple program for eating. I always made it so complicated. I always felt deprived and resentful. I never looked upon it as a positive thing. I never looked at the plan and said, I can eat this, and I can eat this, and I can have that, and I can have this. I always said, woe is me. I'm so deprived. And I always focused on what I couldn't eat. I missed out on all the wonderful things I could eat. So for me today, approaching this plan from a totally different angle, with a totally different mindset, that's what's given me the freedom that I have today, because I don't feel deprived. I don't feel resentful. I don't feel hungry. I don't feel like everybody else can eat whatever they like and I can't. For the simple reason, today I do not look at what other people eat. I only look at what I eat. I'm only interested today in what I eat, what I drink, what I weigh. I used to be a great person for sticking my nose in other people's business, not in a nasty way, but if I'd got this plan and I was working it and it was working for me, I wanted you to get it too. I wanted everybody to get it. So I'd try and ram it down your throat and convince you you should do it this way. And Joe will tell you I can be like that, only because I want the best for everybody. But what I know today is I can't change anybody's journey except my own. And in some ways that's become quite a relief. It lifts a load off my shoulders. I watch different people and the way they work the plan. Sometimes I find it quite difficult to watch, but who am I to be judging them? If that's the way they want to do it, that's the way I used to do it, that's the way I've attempted it. Why am I judging other people for doing it the way I've tried to do it? But what I know today is what I found today was always there. The plan was always written down in its simplest form in a very, very easy to understand way. Certainly don't need a degree to work this plan. And it was written down clearly for me, but I got in the way. My attitude, my approach, my reluctance, my stubbornness, my pig-headedness got in the way.
Sorry to interrupt, but what you're saying about your approach to the plan, I think you're approaching it differently. You're not approaching it like a fad diet this time.
No, it's a new lifestyle. It always was a fad.
Long-term thing.
Yeah. It always, Joe's right there. This is the way I eat today. This is the way I want to eat and intend to eat for the rest of my life. I don't need to eat any differently because this is good. Whenever I did the diet before, I approached it as, and I use the word diet because that's, at the end of the day, Slimming World, it's a diet. But if you want to look at it as a long-term thing, which is what it is, when does the diet end and the maintenance begin? For me, it started on the day I joined Slimming World at the beginning of May last year, because that was when I decided it was time to change. So I changed from day one. And I stopped looking at it as a diet, because with my past history, diet had always stood for dare I eat this. So any kind of food always came with agendas, and usually hidden agendas. Dare I have this piece of bread? Dare I eat this? I must say, now the focus has gone, because I've always said I only eat food I like, I only eat food that's on plan.
Yeah, but you're approaching it slower this time.
I've taken the whole weight loss journey much slower. I went into Slimming World not intending to. Well, I went into Slimming World with the intention of losing 3 stone, or just short of 3 stone, because I was 13 stone 8 and I wanted to be 10 stone 10. So I went into Slimming World knowing that that meant a £40 weight loss. From the day I joined, I didn't care how long it took me to lose £40. It could have taken me 40 weeks, it could have taken me 80 weeks. It didn't matter, because these changes were for the rest of my life. So I was never going to cross a finishing line that meant, hey Jane, you've got there, you've done it. So because I approached it slowly, because I approached it with a willingness to change, the loss has been gradual. well, yeah, I lost the £40 by Christmas from May, but I've now been at Target, or I'm out to the bottom of Target, but I've been beyond my 10 stone 10 target for 11 months. And maintaining and still losing a little here and there. But that's not because I try on a weekly basis to lose or gain. I try on a weekly basis to just eat within plan. I'm so comfortable eating the way I'm eating today. I don't look at coming off the plan for any particular reason or period. Yes, we go out for meals and I may flex this in a meal, but that's taken into account for the rest of that week. And I will always have to do that because nobody is ever going to put their life on hold to follow a food plan. So I'm going out a week on Tuesday to a birthday meal, which will be something special. But I'll flex this in that meal, take those sins off the 105 for the week and carry on. I won't go out for that meal on the Tuesday night and blow the whole day. It's one meal out of 21. And that's real life. That's dealing with real life. We can't put our lives on hold until we've lost weight. And I'll tell you exactly why we can't do that, because that's another thing I did along the way. If you put your life on hold to lose weight, and when you get to the weight you want to be, decide to start living your old life again, you will get fat, and you will get fat very quickly. Because that's the reality of it. The only reason your weight stays down is because of the amount of food you consume and the amount of exercise you expend. And if you went back to the way you always did it, the result you'll get, and this happened to me several times, the result you get is what you always got, weight gain. So don't be naive, anybody please, and don't live in the unreality that once you hit target, you can go back to being the person you used to be. If you want to stay at target, you have to be the new person you are today. I was thinking this morning when I was lying in bed, it's Halloween, trick or treat. The trick to this diet is give up the treats. Because whatever you're going to overindulge on treating yourself, you'll have a propensity to gain weight. It'll be there. If you suddenly decide, blow it, I'm fed up, I'm going to have a Domino's pizza as a treat tonight. And then you lose it, you lose the plot, and you carry on for the rest of the week, just letting it slip a little. You'll have a gain next week, and then you won't be happy. Been there, done that. It's not worth it. So for Halloween, the trick is give up the treats. Anyway, enough for today. I think I've said enough, and it's very much my passion around this eating plan. I love the way Slimming World has taught me to eat. I love the moderation around the plan. I know today that when I look at the size of my food plate, the amount of food on it, I know what is moderate. I know what's good for me. The bigger part of my meal is always the speed. I love vegetables. And I know that if I'm going to slap too much of one particular thing on my plate, there's a reason for it and I shouldn't be doing it. I can't go back to being the greedy person I used to be. And I think if this time when I came into the plan, I know we can have big meals, I know we can pile our plates high, but be careful what you pile in your plate high with, because I used to pile my plate high with the wrong things. And today I feel I have a good plate full of food, but it's a good plate full of the right thing. So I wanted to share that today, and if anybody's interested in commenting, and I think it would be interesting, please put in the comments below the reason you came to plan. Are you doing it to lose weight for your wedding? Is it for your birthday? Is it for Christmas? And how are you going to keep doing it after those events? So we have lovely young women who come and join group and they want to lose a stone for their wedding. Very few of them come back after their wedding. And you do wonder, did they keep it off? There's a smashing girl in our group who followed plan all the way through her pregnancy. And the week after her baby, she didn't gain a massive amount of weight, the right amount, but not a massive amount. She had a beautifully healthy baby and came back the following week with a 15-pound weight loss. Incredible. And she still comes. And that's what makes the difference, I think. Keep coming back, stay to group, and know that you're worth it. Because today I actually believe I'm worth it. I never believed that before. Thanks for watching, and please do comment below and tell the rest of us what brought you to Slimming World and what keeps you there. Cheers, have a great week, and as I say, happy Halloween. Remember, it works if you work it, it won't if you don't. Cheers.